Hello and welcome to a new vlog and flight report. Today we're flying with German Airways from Amsterdam to Southampton. Here on the map you can see our approximate flight route today, and I will tell you a bit later why German Airways is flying from the Netherlands to the UK. But we are starting close to the airport, not too close, at the parking garage. I was parking at the Q Park Spa and Guest House. That's quite a bit away from the airport, but they have a quite a good and cheap park and fly offer, so I was trying that out. It's about 200 meters from the parking garage to the bus station. Above me is a bus track. The bus is going every 10 minutes and the ticket is already included, so that was working very well. It took around 15 to 20 minutes to get to the airport, even though it's quite far away, but typical for the Netherlands, they have a smart solution. There is a separate bus track, whole road just for the buses, so we're independent from traffic, and that's why we're reaching the airport pretty fastly, just couple of minutes, and we're at the airport Amsterdam Schiphol, and from here I'm now flying with German Airways to Southampton. Here we can see the beautiful interior of Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Is one of my favorite airports. As you can see, there are a lot of seating options, also very comfortable one. You find power sockets everywhere. There are uncountable shops, cafes, bars and restaurants, also very good bars and restaurants, and there are also some free seating areas where you can watch the runway, you can watch the planes take off, so a very nice airport. I'm now taking the bus to my plane. Here we can already see a plane of German Airways, but that's not my plane. We're taking this one. This is my plane. I will tell you a bit more about it later on in the video. And if you take a closer look, you can see that there is also the KLM Cityhopper logo on it, and that explains why German Airways is flying from Amsterdam to Southampton. They are operating this flight for KLM Cityhopper to enlarge the fleet of a KLM Cityhopper. They are using planes of different companies, for example German Airways. So now it's time to step aboard the Embraer 190, and here we can see the interior, which is pretty nice. We have a standard seat pitch, I would say. We have a big sturdy table and otherwise standard features like in every plane, so it's quite nice and comfortable. And here we are already leaving our position and now which is quite untypical for Amsterdam. After just a couple of minutes of taxiing, we're already at the runway, and now we're gonna take a look at the departure, of course, with the original sound. And here we are up in the air, and now we're going through the thick layer of clouds, and above it there was daylight again. As you can see, we're now flying into a sunset, which unfortunately was on the left side, and I was a bit wondering why I made a reservation for a seat on the right side when the sunset is on the left side. Usually I always reserve a window seat, and I try to get the side where you have a chance of a sunrise or sunset. But this time I chose the right side, and we will see later on why. Now it's time to give you a few information about my plane. It has a registration DAZFA, is an Embraer 190 and was built in 2007, so it's 19 years old, and was built for Aero República Colombia. Was then flying for Copa Airlines Colombia and came to WDL Aviation in 2020, which then became a German Airways, and since then it's flying for German Airways and was chartered, for example, to Pinta Canarias and KLM Cityhopper. KLM offers a fantastic onboard service. Even this bottle of wine and the snacks were included, and there's a quite wide selection from drinks you can choose from, and they are all free, they are already included. And now you can see why I chose the seat on the right side, because now we're flying above London and we're gonna get a fantastic view of London from above, and you have a quite good chance to fly over London when you're flying to Southampton, and that's why I chose the seat on the right side, and it was a good decision. As you can see, This is a very, very beautiful sight. It was really enjoyable, especially with a glass of wine and a nice snack. KLM is one of the very few airlines that are still offering drinks and snacks for free. With most other airlines you can only buy drinks or snacks on board. Even on longer flights, like my last flights to the Canary Islands, which were more than 4 hours, there were no drinks included. And here on this short hop from Amsterdam to Southampton, you can even get wine for free. So this is why I like KLM and I like flying with them, because they have a fantastic service. Also here on board of German Airways, the service was fantastic. And now we're again through the thick layer of clouds and we're approaching Southampton. Southampton also has a fantastic airport, which I really like. It's a very small airport. And if you're going on a cruise like I'm doing, it's always worth going to Amsterdam and then flying to Southampton, because it's much more convenient than flying to London and then going from one of the airports of London to Southampton. And now we're approaching the airport of Southampton. Here we are above the station of Eastleigh. Now we're gonna see the landing in Southampton with the original sound. Here we are at Southampton. As I said, a wonderful airport. Immigration took around 15 minutes. As always, the officer was very kind. He was just asking a few simple questions what I'm doing there. I explained to him that I'm going on a cruise. He was asking then if I'm going on the Queen Mary too, and told him that I'm going on a different ship, and he was like, oh, also a nice ship, wish me a nice cruise, and that's it. So don't worry, the immigration is not a big deal. They are always kind and nice. And then it was just a walk of around 2 minutes to get to the airport station. Unfortunately, there was a rail replacement service today, so I was taking a bus to the city center of Southampton, and from there I then was walking to my hotel. What I really like about small airports like Southampton is that around 1 hour after the scheduled arrival time, I was already in my hotel. That's impossible at big airports like London, so that was fantastic. I was staying at the Moxie at the city center of Southampton. Here we can see the beautiful room. Moxie has a perfect location if you want to go on a cruise, because it's not too far to all of the different cruise terminals here in Southampton, so I can recommend staying there. And the shopping center is just across the street, and there I had a nice dinner at Nando's, and after that it was time to go back to my hotel and go to sleep. And in the next video you will see on which ship I'm going, and here you can see when this video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video then.